Hello and welcome to Chandler in Focus. I am Councilmember Kevin Hartke, and our topic of conversation and discussion today is the Chandler Sister City program. My guests today are Jack Sellers, former council member, former vice mayor, and president of our Chandler Sister City program, as well as Lauren Cole, the 2017 Arizona Colleen and Rose recipient. So would you please start by telling us about your history and your interest in sister cities? So Lauren, why don't you start first?
Yes, so my grandmother was a board member for the Chandler Tullamore Sister Cities, and we went on the trip in 2015, and that kind of got me involved in Sister Cities. When she passed away, I became a board member as well. So this kind of turned into being the Arizona Colleen and Rose, so I applied, and I was fortunate enough to win, and it's been a great and amazing experience. And so I have two different titles. I have the Arizona Colleen, and then I have the Arizona Rose. And so the Colleen portion of it is represent the Irish and Celtic community here in Arizona, and I am the representative of the St. Patrick's Day Parade. And then the Arizona Rose portion, I get to go to Ireland, and I was a representative for Arizona.
Well, fantastic.
Yes.
And Jack, tell us you've got a long history with the Sister Cities program, but tell us about your Chandler participation.
Well, let me start by telling you how I got involved with Sister Cities. We joined Sister Cities, many years ago because the Mesa Sister Cities group was traveling to Peru. And we decided that would be a good way to see Peru. And that was the only reason we joined. But after I made that trip, I discovered what Sister Cities is really all about. And I was so impressed and so encouraged by what I learned through that I became the president of Mesa Sister Cities. So that's where I really started. I got involved with the Chandler Sister Cities group actively probably a little over a year ago now.
And so we have sister cities with Tullamore, Ireland, and Tainan, Taiwan. But let's first talk about Tullamore. Can you tell us about the history of that, Jack?
Yeah, and of course that was before my time, so I made some notes. But back in 2007, 2008, a small group of Chandler citizens met to talk about forming a twinning between Chandler and Tullamore. This came about because a native from Tullamore and who's also a Chandler resident, Thomas Bracken, owns the Bracken School of Irish Dance, and he hosted a dance festival here in Chandler that attracted 1,000 visitors as a part of our multicultural festival. So a result of this twinning effort is that in June of 2008, the city of Chandler approved forming a Sister Cities relationship. Ellen Harrington has chaired the Chandler-Tullamore Sister City group since its inception. And even though both cities felt that in addition to being a great opportunity for cultural exchanges, there would be mutual economic development advantages as well. Well, 2007, 2008 was a bad economic period. So that led to some economic uncertainty, and we are now revisiting some of those initiatives.
So, and this year has been a very good year for our Sister Cities relationship, and I know we're going to talk about it, but certainly with our Rose going there, we had the opportunity of going there. We've sent others recently. I know you've been to Tullamore twice, I believe, and have brought others. And then even the postcard twinning, the event that happened earlier, last year, I suppose. So it's been a great event. Well, Lauren, tell us about your ties with Ireland and how you became involved. You mentioned with your grandmother.
Yes.
But tell us about why this was particularly appealing to you.
I really just wanted to live on her legacy. I know genealogy was something big that she was really into, so I definitely wanted to carry on that and find more about my Irish roots and my Irish heritage. So that's how I became involved, and now I get to be able to represent Arizona, and it's just been an amazing opportunity, and I'm just so proud and excited to be here to be able to do this. So.
You know, I had approached the Irish Cultural Center to help with my Irish roots, and I found out I was less Irish after I did research than before. But I understand that's not uncommon for people who start delving into those things. The family lures end up being dead ends instead. So tell us specifically this year about your experience with the Rose and Colleen competition.
Yes, so what it is, it's a festival between ages 18 to 27 for young women of Irish heritage. So we get to be able, with the competition part of it, we have prelim interviews, and then we have on-stage interviews, and then we do a talent portion of it. And then they pick the women that they believe would be the best representative for this class for this year. And so I pretty much get to go to all different events all over Arizona, going to the Scottish games, going to Ireland, being able to really get into the community and have get young people involved and try to get them to learn more about their heritage. So, and I had the opportunity of going to Ireland this past year. There's 65 of us from all over the world, Hong Kong, Dubai, Ireland, and we all meet up for this international festival in Tralee, Ireland. And so that's where I was in August.
That was great. And when we went through there, I remember seeing your photo plastered all over the place.
Yeah.
It was really fun. So this past year has been a whirlwind for you. You were voted in the spring of 17. You went to Ireland in August, and then you also went to Germany.
Yes.
What a fantastic year. And how long will you continue in the capacity?
So I'll be done in March. So what we will have, we start a new selection night in February, and then my duties are officially done in March. And so I will be able to go to St. Patrick's Day in New York and be in the parade along with my other Rose sisters from all over the world. So it's been a great opportunity just to be out in the community and get to meet new people. And now I have friends all over the world.
And I imagine of all the things that has been great this year, was that your highlight of being the Rose and Colleen as well as your trip to Ireland? Is there something else you'd like to tell us about from your trip there?
I think, yes, being able to go to Ireland and just be able to represent the great state of Arizona was something that I really looked forward to. And being able to just be there and have this experience is very hard to explain in words, the type of experience that you have there, because everyone knows your name, they know who you are. So I definitely would recommend it to anyone between my ages to definitely just try it and get out of your comfort zone and be able to be immersed in the Irish heritage.
And we're obviously very proud too. I mean, of all the young and talented women that competed, to have not only a Chandler resident, but also a Chandler employee
Yes.
who gets to represent us. So we feel a double honor as a result of that. So Jack, tell us about your travels to Tullamore.
Well, you know, back in 2016, last year, I had the opportunity to visit Tullamore. And because I wanted to explore the mutual business relationship that might be available to us between the two cities, I asked the Chamber of Commerce to go with me. And so they selected a person to make the trip with me. And we visited several businesses while we were in Tullamore, and in fact established some communication links that still exist today. One really significant link that we know about is that there's an Intel plant where a number of their employees, their Irish employees, live in Tullamore, but they were trained at our Chandler facility before they went to work in Ireland. So a significant thing, because they spent several months here in our city. And so that really helps to add to the relationship that we have between Tullamore and Chandler.
And I think one of a highlight of many of our trip was the ability to explore the Intel plant in Licksplit, and they gave us a grand tour of several hours, and it was really fun to be able to do that.
Definitely a great experience.
So what are some of the other opportunities for residents to appreciate Irish culture and our ties to Tullamore?
Well, you know, I really encourage everyone to get involved with the Sister Cities organization. There's no better way to learn about other cultures and really experience those cultures on a very personal basis, because when you travel with a Sister Cities organization, you're no longer a tourist, you're a guest. And so you get to do the things the natives do in that area. You get to learn a lot more about the people. You get to interact a lot more with the people. You know, the world's getting smaller, so it's really important for us to know as much about other cultures as we can. And so I really encourage people to look into Sister Cities and get more involved so they can learn more about the world through that.
Good advice. Lauren, what recommendations would you have for young people interested in learning more about Ireland, websites, meetings, etc.?
Definitely. Well, if you're in between the ages of 18 and 27, I would definitely recommend applying for this program. It's really taught me a lot about myself and a lot about my Irish heritage. So you can visit azcolleen.org or follow us on Facebook as well. And I would definitely recommend going to the Irish Cultural Center too and getting involved in the community. There's so many great events around the state of Arizona. So just being able to be involved in that.
And I remember the event in which you were selected, and you might almost think that, well, if I was to apply for this and to be the Arizona Colleen, I need to be able to play bagpipes or fiddles or almost Irish culture. And there were storytellers. So tell us about your gift.
Yeah, so I actually did martial arts. So my talent was Hapkido, which is called a joint manipulation style. So I was able to show some moves, and pretty much what I wanted to do was show women to self-defense mechanisms. So with my aunt, we did different moves to kind of represent how to get out of situations, and it was a really great opportunity. I played volleyball my entire life, so I wanted to try something new, and I think every woman should be able to defend themselves.
So we had a joke when we both landed in Ireland fairly close. We rented a car and drove you to Tullamore. So tell our joke.
Yes, I was the bodyguard for Vice Mayor here, and he was my escort. He was the chaperone driving us around. So that was our little joke because I could take on.
It was a lot of fun.
Yes.
So Jack, we have other sister city relationships. Tell us about Tainan.
Well, I guess I got involved with Tainan Taiwan because we have a couple of Chandler residents that are from that area. And we were asked to look into getting our Chandler National Little League All-Star team to go play in a tournament in Tainan. And so I got very much in the middle of that. And through that process, actually traveled with the team. And think about this for a minute, taking 15, 12-year-old athletes to a foreign country. But we actually went with the team to Tainan. And from that experience, met the mayor of Tainan, Mayor Lei, who is now the Prime Minister of Taiwan. But very impressive guy. And when we were in his office in the city there, he said, "I think we should form a sister city relationship." And we agreed. And so through that process, we've established this relationship. And I'll go back a little bit to talk about taking the team there. I emphasized to the boys that they were going to be ambassadors for our city, for our state, and for our country. And I was so proud of them. They really did an outstanding job. And I don't have the time to go into all the details about that, but I was so impressed with how 12-year-olds could react to that situation. And it reinforced to me that in a Sister Cities program, it's so important to get young people involved because they adapt much more quickly than we do. And they then would be the future of bringing our worlds together. The other thing I'll mention about that trip is, and again, it goes back to looking for mutually beneficial business relationships. I asked our economic development director to travel with me on that trip. And our Chandler resident, who was kind of the force behind all of this, Michelle Chan, actually arranged a number of business appointments for us while we were in Taiwan, and they were really very productive. Really pleased with the way the whole thing turned out. So I think that we accomplished every goal that I have for what a meaningful sister city relationship is to me, with establishing Tainan Taiwan as one of our cities.
So I could think of a number of C's that come to mind. Certainly culture exchange, our children with baseball, commerce that you mentioned. I can't make baseball have a C in it. I'm trying hard, but it just seems like we've also brought people from here, from Tainan. Do you want to comment on that?
Yeah, they've actually brought Little League ball players here to practice with our teams and play with our teams 2 different times now. And in fact, the last visit they made here, we put their Little League ball players in homes with folks here in Chandler. And again, the people that took these kids in just couldn't say enough great things about how polite and how easy it was to have these kids in their home, even though most of them spoke little or no English. The whole visit was very, very good. For me personally, I think that that's a good thing and it's an important thing, but I think that it would be even more productive for us to involve more people at the high school level, because now they really are at a point where they would form lasting relationships with our sister cities, and that's what we need going forward.
Well, Jack, what other opportunities are there for our residents to learn more about our Taiwanese culture and get involved with that Sister City program?
Well, one of the really great things is, and this kind of goes back to some of my criteria for how you decide whether or not a sister city relationship would work. But, a really good thing about our Tainan relationship is that the person that got me the most involved, Michelle Chan, is also the president of the Greater Phoenix American Taiwanese Chamber of Commerce. And so there are numerous events here that bring that community together that we can participate in. And we just had one a few weeks ago called Double 10. And that's probably the most significant holiday for Taiwan, October the 10th. I think some people would call it their Independence Day, although China doesn't recognize them as an independent nation. But nevertheless, it's a very significant holiday for them. And by attending that, and you were there with us, you find that we bring that community together with all of our folks in our community, and it really is a great exchange right here in Chandler between our cultures. And so there are many opportunities to do that. Of course, the ultimate is being able to travel to our sister cities and being able to experience the culture and the country, the people. And the good thing about that is that there are tax advantage ways to do that, because of the way President Eisenhower established sister cities back in the 50s.
Okay. Well, Lauren, you've also have been involved with some of our Tullamore folks from coming here. We did a student exchange, I think, with Seton, and I know a family there now whose daughter was here. So have you had the opportunity to be engaged with people coming back and forth as well before your trip there?
Well, yeah, so I'm actually working on part of being the board member. I will be working with the student exchange program. So I'll be working with Ellen, trying to figure out what we're going to do for our students and how we're going to make sure that they come over from Ireland, as well as we go over to Ireland as well. So I'll be working with that. But it's a great program to get students immersed in their culture and really get to travel and experience things.
I think one of my highlights in Tullamore was the county show that they have there, the Tullamore Show. And I did a little radio program, and the announcer mentioned that we were talking about twinning different things. We did several events that somewhere in Ireland, in Offaly County, they have an ostrich. And they were quite fascinated with our ostrich festival in Chandler. And so the conversation, tongue-in-cheek then, but maybe we could twin our ostriches of what we do here and there.
That'll work.
So the county official, the lead county person there was just as interested in our taking their ostrich home with us. So
Very nice.
I'm not sure that went very well. But, so anyway, any final things you'd like to share, Lauren?
I would just thank everyone for letting me be able to represent Arizona this year. And I'm so excited. And if anyone's interested in becoming a part of the Arizona Calling and Rose, definitely visit our website and our Facebook. It's a great opportunity, and I definitely recommend it.
And Jack, let me give you a final question. Where would you like to see Chandler's Sister City program go?
Well, as you know, we've been a sister city with Tullamore, Ireland for almost 9 years now. We just have recently added Tainan Taiwan. You can probably tell I'm really enthusiastic about sister cities. I really think it's a great way for us to bring our world together. So I'd like to see us do several things. One of the things I learned at our state conference this year is that the people that hosted the conference have high school clubs, sister city high school clubs. And for you to be one of the ambassadors to travel to their sister city, you have to be a member of the club. I'd like to see us do something like that here. Because again, as I said earlier, I think it's really important to get people at that age involved. But the other thing that I really look forward to is, my criteria for forming a sister city relationship is that you have to have a dedicated person in each city that remain in contact and communicate to keep it going. And the second criteria is it needs to be mutually beneficial to both cities, both culturally and economically. From that standpoint, we've been approached by 3 cities in China asking us to form relationships with them. In fact, I signed a friendship agreement with one of them about a year ago that I told them that, it really wasn't meaningful until it was approved by the mayor and council. And I really haven't brought that forward because I'm still waiting to find out whether or not we would have that person in their city that would keep this active. We do have that in Tullamore. We have that in Tainan. We have a person in Tainan that lives there full time who speaks fluent English, makes it easy for any of us to stay in touch there. But I'd also like to see us explore forming a sister city relationship with Mexico, because I think the relationship between Arizona and Mexico is so critical. And I think it would make sense for us to do that as well. So those are kind of my goals. But we're still in the process of adapting our Chandler Sister City organization to have more than one sister city. But anyone who's interested in learning more about this, we have a website. It's ChandlerArizonaSisterCities.org. Please visit the website and join us. We'd love to have you become involved. It really costs virtually nothing to be a member, and it's really, really a great benefit.
Well, Jack, I want to thank you for your passion, your leadership, and your vision for continuing to work with our sister cities, as well as to expand it to see where we can go. And Lauren, I want to thank you for being such an excellent ambassador of Chandler, of Arizona, of our city, for in your role there, and look forward to continuing to watch your future and see where this experience and others will take you.
Thank you.
Well, I want to thank you for watching us today, and hopefully if you have questions or want to share your thoughts and experiences, please consider getting a hold of us at the city. I am Vice Mayor Kevin Hartke, and this is Chandler in Focus.